Hello YouTube, Fuzzfinger here, once again bringing you more Final Fantasy XII today. And for this video, I'm hoping we're going to finish off the Tomb of Wraithwall, including taking on yet another tough boss with no jobs or licenses. So let's get on with the show, stay tuned. Okay, so we're going to be starting off from where we left off previously, which was with these devices in this room. And if you went back to save as I did, just make sure you use the newly reactivated waystone at the entrance of the tomb to make your way back here, so that you don't end up going in front of the demon wall. That wouldn't be a good idea in my opinion, because you would still have to fight him unless you have already. And we're going to start by heading down the steps here. And as you can see, there's quite a lot of them. Time for Speedy Gonzales mode, I think. And these bats can be hit with melee weapons, despite the fact that they are looking like flying creatures. They're not actually classified as such. And here we're going to also go down the staircase. I'm just going to check on my map where we are exactly. There might be an item over here though, so I'm going to have a look for that first, so we can grab that if need be. Oh, somebody just got a level. Fran, nice one Fran, level 17. The hype is real. We're not going up there. Okay, here's that treasure chest. I should have Ash in my party ready so we can see the traps, but I'm just going to risk it for now. Dispel, very good. And with that done, we can head down the next set of steps that we've just run past. And there's another treasure chest here, so we'll nab that. And there should be an ancient door, yep, so we'll go through here. Just slow things down a bit again now so that we can try and get our bearings. We're in the northern section of the dungeon, obviously, at this point. So we're going to start by making our way just around the fairly linear path, at least initially. And we can also reactivate Vossler's gambits at this point as well, so he can remove people's negative status ailments. Save us having to do that manually anyhow. And there's two strange enemies in here, and they're known as Ragos, so we need to take care of them. And they do have quite a bit of health, and a nasty fire attack that we need to just watch out for. And Varn might just die here, unless we can kill him quickly enough. No, he's down. That's good. He's down. Let's just throw a couple of healings around. See how much Fran heals Balthea first, though. That'll do. Now we're going to take out the other one. You can get other enemies spawning as well, so obviously just be a little bit cautious. Oh, these monsters are actually yellow, look, rather than blue, which means they're a little bit more difficult. Good. Everyone survived. And as you can see, there's more of these things that we have to take care of, and they're going to be scattered around the dungeon now. So Voss here is going to be obviously doing a lot of damage for us. There we go. And we're just going to move from around the rooms here. As I've said, it's fairly linear, and the aim is to move to the next waystone. Just taking care of the fiends as we go, of course. And there is a few treasures dispersed around the place, but not as many as you might think. But it is worth just running around the area just to check, make sure that we have collected everything. Oh, that was cool. Hopefully Voster will bring Balthier back and we'll make him leader again. Just check down here in case of treasure. Nout. And so we move on again. Level hype again. Well done, Varn, I believe. Is everyone level 17 now? No, just Balthier still slacking. I don't know what it is with Balthier, but every time I play Final Fantasy XII, he always seems to slack in his levels compared to the other party members. And I do definitely play him. I guess I just don't play him enough, do I? Weird, really, because he's actually probably my favourite character out of the whole team. Fran needs MP. Which means we should just run around for a moment. As a matter of fact, look, in the Zodiac Age you can do this. Head to config. Stick the speed multiplier onto 4. And then Fran is going to get lots of MP really quite quickly. 7, 8. Okay, she's healing at the same time, so... Ooh, the things are respawning. That's it, you just keep healing, Fran. Saves using ethers, doesn't it? Whenever you're ready anyway, we can move on. And as you can see, there's 3 chests in this next area. Along with the usual enemies, of course. Let's just take care of these. The fact that your party members recover MP when you're running around, oh, finally Balthier's level 17, is an innate thing that's just part of the game. It's not an ability or anything you have to equip. So that's a bit of a bonus for you, isn't it? 3 treasures to loot here. Nothing spectacular. But we'll just continue around the linear paths. Basically, the plan is there's going to be another waystone at the end, so we won't have to traverse all the way back again. Down the stairs. Lots of stairs in this place, isn't it? It goes very, very deep underground, clearly. Right, let's get Van resurrected. Check for more treasures. There might be some traps as well, so just be careful. A soldier's cap, very good. Anything around here? Yep. Nope. And there we have it, there's the waystone I was talking about. Before we actually go ahead and use the waystone, we can also see there's a Northfall pedestal we can interact with here, so we're going to go ahead and do that. A luminous crimson jewel is set on the pedestal, we're going to touch it. And this begins to lower a pedestal, although not enough for us to actually enter the chamber it was going to provide us access to. Instead, 3 more zombies spawn. These are mage zombies, so do what we have to do, take them out. Get Pinello back alive again. And I don't think there's anything actually of interest down here, so I wouldn't bother, quite frankly, in going down there. Instead, we're going to use the waystone. And this is going to take us back to that room. That waystone is now active, although we don't need to go back there yet. And we have to basically repeat the same on the other side. So by all means, take this opportunity to head back, heal and save. That's what I'm going to do. And then we'll continue on with the dungeon. Okay, so nicely healed up. We're going to do exactly the same thing, but in reverse, of course, this time. So we're going to make our way down the southern staircase. I'm just going to show you where there's a couple of treasure locations at the start here. But I'm not going to show you the entire passage because it's absolutely symmetrical to the one we've just done, to the north. And it's completely linear. You only go one way, so you can't really get lost, let's be honest. Let's just speed things up for a moment as we take on these bats here that are quite annoying, aren't they? So that's the staircase we're going to go down. In fact, we do just need to kill these enemies first. It's a good job we got Vossler. This place would be rock hard solid without him, I think. But I guess it's tuned, isn't it, to contain him. And there's no treasure there, although there can be one that spawns. So instead we're going to head down these stairs here. And again, there can be a treasure that spawns at the end of this corridor, which we're just going to check out before we actually head through the ancient door itself. Oh dear, nasty trap. I also believe this is a one-time treasure. So once you've looted it, it's gone. And then we head to the ancient door, and again, it's exactly the same path that we took previously. So I'll see you at the end of it. Eventually, you're going to make your way to this area here, where, once again, before we activate the waystone, we're going to activate the pedestal. This time with a green jewel instead of a red one. And that's going to reduce the thingy all the way that's blocking the exit to the next levels, and we get 3 liches, which is really quite annoying because these guys are tough, but unfortunately there's not a whole lot we can do about it. What I'm going to try and do is hit them with fire. I think they're also weak to cure, by the way, of all things, believe it or not. Okay, that's a terrible spell. Oh, that did some damage. Looks like we're going to need to bring in a few reserves here. I told you these guys are tough. And they can split as well, which is annoying. Come on. The more we kill, the easier this gets. Oil is quite an annoying status. You can take that out, though, with handkerchief item. But we'll go ahead and use the waystone here. I'm not going to resurrect the other party members because, as you can guess, we're about to head back to save once more. Which is exactly what I'm going to do. Once you're happy that you're nicely recovered, you want to visit basically any one of the waystones again in order to head back to the area where we've lowered that pedestal. And this time we can actually cross. There's a pedestal on either side, the red side and the green side, but they'll both be lowered now with both of the jewels touched. And just need to make sure I get my bearings correct here. Okay, it's this side we want. The side that looks like the map is going off into nowhere, when of course in fact it isn't. Just check there's no other items to loot around here, and then we can head into the ancient door, which will bring us into the next area. And a challenge awaits us.
Fog? Underground?
Not fog. Mist.
You can see the mist with your eyes?
Where it is thick enough, you may. The nether runs deep in this place.
So, is the mist dangerous?
Yes, but it is also an aid. A dense mist allows the working of powerful magics.
I'll keep that in mind. Can't count on Vaughn to keep track of these things. That's for sure.
Right, so first things first, we can get a few treasure spawns around here, which we can look for. And there's none up on this top level, but if we head down and around the outside, we can see some. Tough to Phoenix down over here. And we are going to head down there in a moment, don't worry. Is that all the treasures? Looks like it could be. There can actually be 4 treasures that spawn. Oh no, there's another one. A blood sword. Sounds exciting. And then I believe there could be one that spawns just around here, but it might be down there. No, it's just around here, it is. So we're going to head on down now. Which means we have to get to the centre, of course. And we're immediately cast into battle against Balthiel. I was going a bit fast then. And this guy is hard. Hard. One thing I did forget to mention is make sure you've stocked up on handkerchiefs when you go and save. So do that before heading down here. This guy hits with tremendously powerful physical attacks, as well as basically a nasty fire attacks at the same time. So let's try Reflector Guard. I don't know if this is going to work very well. It's more of an experimentation on my part. But it could potentially be life-saving if it does work, as I hope it will. Get Bashy healed up. And keep the attacks incoming here. So I'm just going to keep an eye on that Reflect status. Hopefully he'll cast fire soon, so then we can see. Oh, that Sabre was nasty. So remember, we are doing this fight without any kind of jobs or licenses at the moment, although we're almost at the point where we can select those. We're just not quite there yet. Why did Bash not get healed? I must have chosen to heal the wrong fella. I think I healed Balthier, in fact. Bash, I need you back because you're our tank, my friend. Look, he's off and about now because of your failure in actually being able to take damage. Fran is struggling. Let's throw a potion on her. To be honest, Vossler is the chap that's doing most of the damage in this joint. And in fact, Vossler is now tanking. Come on, heal, 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 heal. That was blooming close. And again, since Vossler's now the tank, what I'm going to throw on him here is something that increases his health. Right, here we go, some nasty fiery type attack thing, which means probably going to need to be doing a lot of healing and resurrecting afterwards. And oil as well, which obviously is pretty nasty, so we need to get rid of that using the handkerchief. That's why I told you to get them. And we're just going to use Bash and everyone else for a moment to just heal up after that nasty attack. Who's just died? Franny. Let's get her back pretty sharpish. And healed up again. So he's down to about 50%. We're flying through potions and that here. But hey, we need to keep everyone alive. I don't know if Reflect's a good idea for his fire spells, because I bet it heals him anyway, so... Let's keep Vossler's huge health pool topped up. And it's just that AoE 5 we need to worry about then, isn't it, I guess? I'm going to throw another potion on him. We're doing alright. He's got 16,000 health, Belias the Gigas. So, you know, he's going to take a bit of damage to get down here. But just get ready with those handkerchiefs or any cast oil and healing as well. Here we go, fire a jar. I'm hoping this will be the last time he gets to cast it now, though. So, first things first, let's get rid of these oils. And it's only Balthier that's got it. And then let's keep Vossler alive. Since he's tanking, he's taking all the other damage. Frank can worry about curing everyone else. It's mostly Vossler's health we need to keep topped up here. And one more, I think. And we're doing alright here, I've got to say. Look, Vossler can take a fire or two. No worries. It looks like Vossler's double hit points has worn down now though, so we're going to have to be a little more sparing on the potions. Get ready for that next AoE 5, so I reckon we might get to see another one before the end here. I'm not going to heal up my team, I'll just bring in the reserves if they get killed. Oh, here it comes. I was hoping we might be able to avoid it, but should have known. Should have known better. Okay. Goodbye you. Hello you lot. Who's the party leader at the moment? Okay, that's good. So Vossler's still in charge here, tanking. And even if he did another AoE fire, these guys should survive at least one of them. But he's going down. Well, he was actually easier than the Demon Wall, just a longer fight. But folks, we're actually going to unlock the ability to do second jobs now for all of our characters, which means we get to create our master save file at last. Right, we've actually obtained our first Esper in Belias, which means he'll appear on all the license boards.
They arose, shouting challenges at the gods, but prevail they did not. Their doom it was to walk the mist until time's end. A legend of the Nemo.
My family tells a story of the Dynast King and an Esper. The story goes that in his youth, the Dynast King defeated a mighty Gigas, for which the gods took heed of him. Thereafter, it was ever bound to him in thraldom.
So, all this time it's been here guarding the Dynast King's treasure?
Not so. The Esper is the Dynast King's treasure.
That's your treasure?
In this Esper we now command rests a power whose worth is beyond any measure.
Is that so? Call me old-fashioned, but I was hoping for a treasure whose worth we could measure.
Before we do all that though, let's go ahead and finish off this dungeon. There's no more fights now. Just some cutscenes that we need to endure. So we're going to head through that door there and make our way down. We can see there's a waystone which is going to bring us back to the main entrance. Well, bring us back to the other waystones so we can get to the main entrance. But for now we're going to go straight ahead.
What's wrong?
Your Majesty, we must go.
What? You will be avenged.
And finally, we've got what we came here for, the Dawn Shard, which is an item that is now literally handed into our inventory. And at this point, we can make our way back to the waypoint we passed a moment ago. And this will take us back to the Hall of the Destroyer. And then we can use the waypoint behind to head on out of the dungeon itself. And folks, this is an exciting part for me now because I'm finally going to be investing into jobs and licenses. But before I can do any of that, before I can spend a single point or select a single job, we need to create a master save file. So first of all, I'm just going to save my game anyway. Basically now we have all party members and all 12 jobs available to select. Whereas before we could only select 6 jobs of the 12. Any 6 of the 12, but only 6 maximum. Whereas now I've deleted Belias, he will appear on all of the license boards, although when you select him on one of the license boards he disappears off the others. Because you can only have one Esper for the whole party, so they're limited to 1 character each. But more excitingly is that next to Belias is another tile that gives you access for that character to learn a second job, and that's completely unique and new to the Zodiac Age. It wasn't even available in the international version, which introduced the job system in the first place. In that edition of the game you could only have 6 jobs maximum throughout the life of the entire game. So what we're going to do now, that everything is available to us is we're going to create a master save file if ever we want to test new builds, if ever we want to, you know, maybe in the future we want to start a new game. We can either start from this point where everything's available to us, or we can test new builds from this point and then start from the beginning so we know what we're doing as we go through the game from the start. But it's so nice, in my opinion, to be able to have that master save file. Yes, we've had to go all this way for the last 12 hours or so, just using our basic weapons, armour, and lots of potions and Phoenix Downs. But I really do think it's worth it. And what I'm going to do now is dedicate a video, the video that's coming up after this one, to the entire job system, what build I'm going for, and why it is I think you should hold off until this point before actually learning any jobs. So do come back and check that out. I'm going to keep that as a separate video. So if you're following this as the walkthrough, then the next number in this series is going to be continuing on from the walkthrough. So I'll put a link in the video description to the dedicated video of the build I'm going for and why, but I do want to keep that separate so people aren't using the walkthrough, they can still stumble across that particular video anyway. But thanks for joining me today, folks. I hope you've enjoyed watching, and I hope it's been helpful to you as well, learning how to take down Belias without any jobs. Basically just hit him. But there we go, folks. So take care, see you soon. Bye for now.